Good morning, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to episode 8 of Kwik Shotz. Today, we will be talking about generalism and generalist. Let's cut to it and cue that intro. Generalism and generalist. What is it? Well, today on this episode of Kwik Shotz, that's what we're going to be talking about. If you haven't already, go check out my last episode on specialist or specialism after you listen to this one or before you listen to this one. I don't care which way you do it, but just gives you the opposite side and the vice versa between the two different sides of it. So before we get into anything else, let's go over the definition of generalism. So basically, generalism is the practice of studying many different things rather than specializing in one subject. Now, personally, I'm a generalist, so I said it on my last episode that I'm going to be very biased towards being generalist and the whole topic of generalism. But before we get into all that, in my opinions, the basic definition is, the going and doing a bunch of different things instead of just going for one thing. And this is my point in this whole episode. I feel like people nowadays just try and do one thing really, really well. They don't explore all the avenues that this life has. If you want to go be a doctor, I use that example on the other thing, don't try and just be a doctor, be a communicator. There's several different things. If you want to go be, if you want to be a CEO someday, business is a great example. You're not just going to have to, be an accountant, be the financial advisor, be, the person that manages everything. You're not just going to be one of those. You're going to be the guy that understands all of that. And that's what successful CEOs do. And they are all generalists because they can figure out and have learned several different topics instead of just one. And also I'd like to make the point of, I was just talking about how it explores all your avenues. Life is way too short just to try and focus on one thing or just a couple things. Explore other options. I hope I'm doing another episode, I think, on the difference between uncomfortable and comfortable, because people love to be comfortable. They love just doing the thing that they want to do all the time, sitting in their room eating potato chips or whatever it may be, and they're cool with that. But the thing is, if you're doing that, you're not really getting everything out of life that you should be getting. What do I mean by that? Well, there's so many things to experience in this life, and that's part of being wise, experiencing a whole bunch of different things. I'm sure, I'm a generalist. I've done things that I straight up don't like. And that's okay. But at least I tried and I got myself uncomfortable and said why not give it a shot? Why not give that thing that you always think about doing a shot? If you don't like it, that's okay. At least you tried. It's better that you're way farther ahead of everyone else that hasn't even remotely even given a shot yet. And that's where generalists thrive. They want to do so many different things instead of just trying to do one. And I don't want to talk about the school system because I want to save that for another episode, but that's what the school system wants us to do. They want us to specialize in one specific subject so that you get really good at that and not try and explore any other options. Story for another day. But I brought up, if you're going to college, if you're in community school, college, if you're in a trade school, instead of just focusing on the thing that you think as of right now, I want to study, maybe go try and sit in on another class. And I'm not saying go into something really, really random, art history. Even if you have no interest in it whatsoever, go sit in on an art history class. Now you might be saying into your phone or into the abyss, Ronan, why are you saying this? I'm saying this because at least give it a shot. What's the worst thing that happens? You wasted an hour and 10 minutes or 50 minutes of your life. And now you definitely don't know that you do not want to do art history or learn about art or whatever. But here's where I'm going with it. You're going to find a class that maybe that you sit in or another topic, you look something up on YouTube that you end up really liking. Like, if you're going to just keep doing the same thing that you're going to keep doing and that's all you want to do, hey, go for it. Like, that's not me. But if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. I'm not going to, hate on you for that. But maybe just try something different. Like, like I was just saying, go into a couple classes that you might not think that you like, and maybe one that you actually like, and then you go take a class on that next semester. Maybe you get a minor in it. Maybe you switch your major entirely and say like, oh, well, maybe I want to do this now. That's the whole point of generalism. You just need generalists think in like 50 different ways at one time. It's almost like having ADHD. Like, where am I going with this? It's hard to just concentrate on one thing when there's so many other things out there. That's what goes through my head, at least. Like, I'll say it, like, I'm a generalist. Like, I don't mess with specialization. I don't think it's worth my time. I don't think it's worth, my time and energy just to focus on one thing when there's just so many other things out there in the world that you can go and learn. Like, if you're into business, I think I brought up, like, the CEO, they know a bunch of different things. So if you're going to be say you're going to be a finance major and you want to like study the stock market, well, if you're doing that, might as well learn what the economy is too. So that way you have both ends of the spectrum. The economy affects the stock market, right? So if you go out and learn a little bit more than just what you're being taught in, your finance classes, you'll have a broader spectrum of knowledge that you want to learn and knowledge that you can attain. And that makes you wiser. Generalists are typically the most wise humans out there because they can say that they experienced a bunch of different things. And I'm not, like, you could take that in anything. I know I talk about, like, classes a lot, but what about just traveling in general? I mean, we're in this bubble of the United States, and, just because it's a bubble doesn't mean there's not different sectors of it. Like, if you go down south, it's a completely different culture. Experience that. Like, why not? If you're going to be stuck in your, most people that I think listen to this podcast are just in Pennsylvania. Like, go experience something else. Maybe you like it. Maybe that's where you want to live someday. Like, or you don't, and you find out that I don't want to live there. Like, there's so many things to realize in this life that you like and don't like that you need to get a little bit uncomfortable for. Like, you need to figure out, what do I really enjoy and what do I really not? And the only way that you're going to figure that out is if you try. In probably the conclusion of this podcast, I just want to say that generalists like to try a bunch of different things, and I'm going to try and wrap this up quickly. Generalists like to do a lot of different things. In general, it's a funny joke, but they like to do a lot of different things. They like to experience a lot of new things. They like to get out of the comfort zone. And I don't want to push anything on you, but I'm just saying maybe give it a try. If you don't like going to the gym, maybe try going to the gym and see how much you like it, or see if you don't like it. Maybe try. If you don't like going to the gym, try running. Try and explore a different avenue of something. There's so much. I think I said it about 15 times now. There's so much in this life that you can experience, and the only way you're going to experience that is if you can try, or at least put yourself in the right situation to try and experience that. That's my rant for the day. That is my 10-minute TED Talk about generalism and generalist, and yeah, that's pretty much it. That's a wrap for another episode of Kwik Shotz. I think this is episode 8 or 9. Not really sure when this is going to come out. But guys, if you enjoy this podcast, make sure you give me that 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. Hit that follow button so you get notified when a new podcast is coming out. I'm releasing 3 podcasts a week now. So if you guys enjoy this content, let me know. Shoot me a DM on Instagram, Facebook, whatever it may be. I have merchandise out. All the money that I make from this goes straight back into the podcast. If you'd be so kind, I have an Anchor donation bio on my Anchor website. Just type in anchor.fm/The Ronan Bell Show. Donation link that pops up. All the money that I get from that goes straight back in this podcast so I can do more giveaways, make more merchandise, make more things to help you guys become more wise. That's all I got for today. I hope you guys are getting through whatever you are going through. And as always, y'all just keep on keeping on.